Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. Today I'm sharing 3 simple, impactful decor upgrades you can execute now to make more revenue in the new year. Listen in. Hi, STR owner or manager. I'm Cara Shimizu, and welcome back to another episode of Step Up Your STR, where we talk specialized decorating to transform your vacation rental into a revenue-generating superstar. So excuse my voice, I am getting over a cold, but I did want to hop on one last time in this year to share 3 projects you can implement before 2025. And I designed these to make a difference in your bottom line. They're things that can go really fast. They aren't massive, time-consuming things. They're definitely doable and practical, and I've seen experience. I've had the experience and have seen them proven to work. As far as timing goes, I estimate you can do any of these in less than an afternoon. Let's go over why you'd even want to do this. It's because decorating matters. The look of your space is the first thing that potential guests see. It's the first thing that they're going to notice. It's your listing photos. If you want to stand out in a sea of options, your property needs to be eye-catching. It needs to be memorable. And these 3 strategies will help you do just that. So I'll walk you through how these upgrades make a difference, give you some actionable tips to implement them, and also share some real-world examples to hopefully inspire you. So I hope you'll take some notes and just go ahead and listen carefully, and I'll dive into these game-changing upgrades. First idea, let's start with something bold, a large piece of colorful art. Here's why this works. Vibrant, eye-catching art instantly grabs attention in photos. Anytime I hop onto a listing website to look for an STR for my own vacation, I see gray and brown spaces over and over and over again. A lack of color. So if you want to stand out in that sea of brown, feature some bold color in your rental. A well-chosen piece of art is a really easy way that you can do this. It can add personality and definitely a dose of style to your space. So here's why this works. Listing photos are your first chance to make an impression. A stunning piece of art not only catches the eye, but also communicates that your property is thoughtfully curated. Guests are drawn to spaces that feel special and unique. So here's sort of an action plan for you. First of all, choose art that ties into the theme of your property. If you're near the mountains, go for a beautiful abstract landscape, for example. Make sure it has some really clear blue and green coloring in it. Or if you're in a city, consider contemporary art or some street-inspired art prints. Also, remember that scale matters. A small canvas won't make the same impact as a large, commanding piece. You want to avoid small here because small stuff looks like clutter in listing photos, plain and simple. It looks like clutter. So measure your space. Aim for a piece of art that fits about 2/3 of the width of whatever it hangs over. So if you have an 80-inch wide sofa, make that art about 50 inches wide. If you have a king-size bed, try for art that is 40 to 48 inches wide. And this might seem enormous when you look at it, but I promise that bigger is better here. So be brave and go big. Go big. Here's a pro tip. This art can be affordable. So check at local art fairs or online retailers, digital downloads from platforms like Etsy that you can have the print made onto a big poster or a canvas, like at Walgreens, your local Walgreens, and they can do it in a day. And you can even DIY this. You can create your own abstract art with a few supplies from a craft store. One of my favorite things to do is look for a really large framed piece of art at thrift stores and make my own art. It's not as hard as you might think. Just make sure that you are using really some clear, vivid, good color. That's one of the biggest points of this, is to have a big focal point with color. And if you're not sure what to do, just look on YouTube for some good ideas. So the impact of this: when your guests walk into the room, they'll be greeted by a striking, large, interesting, unique focal point. It'll make your property feel more upscale and curated. And the detail of that art will stand out in listing photos and make it eye-catching and create a memorable experience for guests when they're there. So remember, decor like this does make your property stand out. It's different. And eye-catching, really online, eye-catching is so very important, because eye-catching leads to clicks, which lead to bookings, which lead to revenue. So that's your first idea. Get some really huge art that has vivid color and hang it into your property. Next idea, number 2, upgrade your bedding and towels. This is something that I call a touch point upgrade. These are things that your guests will physically interact with, and bedding and towels are at the top of the list. So here's why this works. Guests value comfort and cleanliness above almost everything else in a vacation rental. When bedding and towels get worn, they often don't look clean, no matter what you do. They may be clean, just freshly laundered, but if they look ratty and have worn edges, they're not going to look clean. But if you have a wonderful, good quality set of bedding and a beautiful, lush set of towels, that will give your guests an exceptional experience. And when you exceed expectations, guests are more likely to leave glowing reviews. So here's your action plan. Invest in white, high thread count sheets. Look for wrinkle-free or wrinkle-resistant, definitely stain-resistant options to make your life easier. Add some luxury with a white coverlet and then really lush sleeping pillows. I always recommend having 2 pillows for each guest, one firm and one soft. And I recommend that these also be white for a really fresh and inviting look. For towels, choose some plush options in white. I keep saying white over and over again. There's a good reason for that. White screams clean and luxurious. I do recommend for towels getting quick dry so they don't take forever to finish up in the dryer. And as I mentioned, I keep mentioning white. It's because there's nothing that beats white for feeling clean. They're so easy to clean, and also they're easy to replace when they do get worn out. Every big box store has white towels, but if you have a set of really specialty colored towels and a few get ruined, or, just with time, a few of them get worn down, you're probably not going to be able to find those special colored towels very easily. So just stick with white. It's easier overall, and it's better for guest experience typically. So also, when I speaking about specialty towels, that reminds me of, do get some specialty towels for if you have a spa, a pool, or if you live by the beach. So like striped cabana type towels or monogram towels will add an extra touch of class and timelessness. The impact of this, let's talk about that for a minute. Luxurious linens are one of the first thing guests notice and appreciate. They definitely elevate the perceived value of your space and often lead to glowing reviews that mention the amazing bed or the hotel quality linens, hotel quality towels. These are small details, but they'll definitely justify higher nightly rates and repeat bookings. Plus, these are a relatively low-cost way to make your property feel like a boutique place. There are lots of places where you can get white bedding, white towels, so there's a lot of competition on price. It really doesn't have to cost a lot. All right, last and definitely not least, the third idea is to create a selfie station. This is where you can get a little playful and have fun in your property. Guests love to share their experiences on social media, And definitely you can capitalize on this trend and give them a picture perfect corner for them to really express themselves and help them become, feel connected to your space. Here's why this works. Like I said, a selfie station is fun. More importantly, though, it is strategic. Guests are already taking photos of their trips. So why not give them a reason to post about your property specifically? Plus, decor that ties your property to their destination adds to their story, and it makes your place more memorable. So here's how to do it. Choose a backdrop that ties to your destination. If your rental is on the coast, think driftwood, seashells, or a painted wave mural. If you have a cabin, consider rustic wood accents and a prop like a faux campfire. And speaking of props, do add props. For example, this could be a cowboy hat if you have a Western themed property, and maybe some vintage sunglasses, even a fun chalkboard with "I stayed here" written on it. And here's a bonus. Add your rental's or name or hashtag subtly in the background so your guests' post will promote your property. So, if your rental name is Gold Medal Getaway, have hashtag Gold Medal Getaway in the background. So here's a real world example of this. One coastal rental that I decorated has a selfie station with a colorful surfboard backdrop and shell necklaces as props, and guests love it. They tag the property in their posts and create free marketing for the owner, and those posts reach thousands of potential future guests. Here's the impact. A good selfie station encourages free marketing for your property online. You'll stand out to younger travelers or just, anyone who loves to share their adventures. And it's an opportunity to indulge in some creativity of your own, and guests will notice your commitment to them having a great experience. All right, let's recap. Today, we talked about 3 impactful decorating upgrades you can tackle now. By now, I mean in less than an afternoon. And this will set you up to earn more revenue in 2025. Number 1, a big piece of colorful art to make your property pop in photos. Number 2, luxurious white bedding and towels that will elevate your guest experience. And number 3, a fun selfie station that turns your rental into a social media advertising machine for you. These upgrades are great for aesthetics, and they're strategic investments in your property's appeal and profitability. Now, remember, the goal isn't just to attract more bookings, it's to bring in higher rates. And if you do these well, you can charge higher rates and not have a drop in your booking numbers. So I'm wondering, which one of these upgrades will you tackle? I would love to hear your thoughts and would especially love to hear about results that it brings you. I do have a couple other episodes to recommend if you'd like to learn more. If you'd like to hear more about art, listen to episode 14. It's my 4 favorite places to buy art. If you'd like to hear more about making your space Instagrammable, tune in to episodes 5, 21, and 22, where I go into a lot of detail about it. All right, that does it for this episode. Now, at the end of this year, if you have ever received any value from this podcast, would you please leave a 5-star rating on whatever app you listen to podcasts? It would be a great way to let me know if what you hear is helpful, and it would go a long way to help other vacation rental owners and managers find this show. Thank you. FYI, I'll be taking off the rest of 2024, and then we'll post new episodes again in 2025. I wish you a Merry Christmas, the very happiest of holidays, and I look forward to talking again next time.